Hey guys, welcome back to Automotive Chaos. I have a little bit of a different video this week. I wanted to do a quick tool review on something that I just picked up. It's a stud welder used for pulling dents from a company called VEVOR. I got it pretty inexpensively off of Amazon, and I got a couple dents I got to pull on the 56 Chevy that's behind me. So I figured we'd open that up and give it a shot. All right, so this tool was $219. I got it off Amazon, so obviously no shipping with that. I had it in about 4 days, I think. Now, this is made by a company called VEVOR. They are a China-based company, but I do have a couple of things from them. That little portable band file, the plug-in band file that I have that I used a good amount. Things never let me down. It's worked really well. That is made by VEVOR. And then my ultrasonic cleaner is also from them. And I have to say, with those two items, I've been very happy with the stuff that they make. Again, I haven't owned it for too long, but both of them have seen a pretty good amount of use, and I haven't really had any issues. So I was kind of willing to take the chance on this one, because I've had good luck with the company in the past. So I guess we'll see with this. But keep opening this up. Oh, it's like IKEA furniture. There's like a million pieces to this thing. Oh, okay. These look like they are all the attachments that you can actually weld onto the metal itself, depending upon the size of the dent you're pulling. This appears to be like a slide hammer, and this might be the torch. I guess I should probably read the instructions before I fire this thing up. It looks like we have another slide hammer. This one does not look like it has a torch attached to it, so I'm assuming there's a couple of other attachments for this threaded end in here. Instructions, the suction cup mount for the slide hammer, which is kind of cool. Similar to those ones that Harbor Freight sells that has the two handles on them, and you kind of yank it, but it always manages to slip off before you pull the dent. So got another one here, the actual torch itself, and ground strap. Let's get the rest of this out of the box. Overall pretty compact. Does have a good amount of weight to it, but not terrible. One thing that was important, at least to me, was this does run off of a household 110 outlet. I do not have 220 in this garage, so I wanted to make sure that I'd actually be able to use this, which I will be able to. I guess I'll find those instructions and look at how to set this thing up. Well, as expected, the instructions are not very helpful. I did find out that I am not supposed to use this in a large puddle. That's really about it. There is nothing in here about any of those attachments that I got or anything like that. So I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to guess. And we're going to see if we can get it to work. I'm going to find a spot for this, probably up on the workbench for now. And then we'll take our best shot at assembling this and then see if we can pull some dents on the roof of this car. The whole reason for really buying this tool is there are a couple of spots on the roof of this car that normally I would just attempt at using a hammer and dolly to get them out. But there's an inner roof structure on these cars, and I cannot get either the hammer or the dolly behind there. So this is why I'm hoping that this tool will do what it's supposed to do, or at least I can figure out how to use it and pull these dents out so I don't have to lay body filler over the dents, because that's the last thing that I want to do. Might be kind of hard to see on the camera, so I will lay out some guide coat in this spot. We'll sand over that real quick. We will find our low spot, and then we'll take our best guess on the settings on the machine and see if we could pull that dent out. All right, so just going to apply some guide coat over the affected area. All right, get a much better look of it here, but this spot right here is the low spot that we want to concentrate on. So now that we found that, I'm going to take the sanding disc. We're just going to clean that down to bare metal, and then we'll hook the machine up and see if we can pull that out. We'll probably have to reapply the guide coat once or twice as we go, just to make sure that we're actually pulling that metal up and removing the dent. First low spot is ground down. I did clean another area of the roof and just attached the ground strap. There were actually what I think are a couple of attachments in that case that I got to hook that ground electrode up to the surface, but I don't have any holes in the roof, thankfully, and I don't want to create any. So for now, we're going to see if that clamp does the trick. So I think the next thing to do is plug this thing in and then try this 40 times until we get it right. All right. Okay, that's a good sign. All right, so that first spot we did, I quickly just threw some more primer over the bare metal there. And once that dries, we'll hit it with some guide coat, sand it real quick, and see how much of that dent it actually removed. It definitely removed something. It was visible to me, at least, maybe not through the camera, but it did work. But I just want to see how much of that dent it actually removed and how much body work will still be required on top of that. So I'll give that a couple minutes to dry, hit it with guide coat, sand it real quick, and see what we're working with. All right, so it is the next day. We let that primer dry. So I'm going to reapply some of the guide coat, and then we'll just sand that a little bit and see how much of that dent we took out. So I could still feel it. It's not totally smooth, but the dent is definitely smaller or less noticeable than it was when we started. So in theory, it did its job, but we'll know really how much of that dent it took out with some guide coat. So just a quick scuff of the area. You can see we still have some low spots in there, but it is definitely smaller than when we first started. So overall, do I think this is worth the $220? Yes, I mean, it does do what it's supposed to do. There's definitely some operator error within this. Like I said, the instructions are not totally clear. And this would definitely weld a lot better if the metal was in better shape and we had a better ground. I'm going to end up changing out that cable. We'll put a regular welding clamp on there. But it is another tool to have. I'll definitely be using it some more, probably on the other side of this car, because the passenger quarter panel has a little bit of work that needs to be done to it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would run out and spend the $220 on it, but it does do what it's supposed to do, maybe with a little bit more practice, just like any tool you really use. The more you use it, the better you'll get. So I'll play around with it a little bit more, but if you guys are thinking of purchasing it, it does work. Just keep in mind what type of metal you're actually using it on. Like I said, this would have gone a lot better if the car was in better shape. Paintless dent removal is definitely a better option. I mean, this car is paintless, it's in primer, but any repair that you could do that's less invasive than this is always the better option. But this car is down to, or was down to, bare metal, so really wasn't a big deal for me to sand down a small spot like that. So like I said, we'll use this some more, practice with it, hopefully get a little bit better. And if you guys were thinking of purchasing this or another brand similar, hopefully this video helped you out. Anyway, thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll see you very soon when we're getting some more work done on this thing.